The shipping container was clearly overweight, but strangely, there were only 2 wooden crates inside. The bald customs officer checked for a long time, but found nothing suspicious. On the other side of the hidden wall, I was squeezed among a group of migrants trying to escape. He told his men to stand in the far corner, then walked toward the front of the container.
Adesso!
Then a bullet ripped through the middle. There was another false wall inside. The officer came back in, but didn't order them to fire. He swore that if we came out quietly, everything would be forgiven and handled properly. I didn't believe him. I held my breath. I saw the wooden crate beside me, and climbed on top of it without thinking. The officer grew impatient, ready to give the order to shoot. At that moment, a hidden door slowly opened. I thought he would keep his word, but he didn't. I stayed curled up on the crate, too afraid to make a sound. He stepped forward to check, and only saw a girl holding a doll, staring at him with fear.
Pulite questa merda e prendete tutto.
When the door finally closed, my heart dropped back into place. Soon after, the container shook violently and was lifted onto a cargo ship. In the corner, I found a backpack. Inside were a drill, half a bottle of water, an old phone, and a glow stick. After checking everything, I finally passed out from exhaustion, but fate wasn't done with me yet. That night, the container began to sway hard. I woke up in panic and looked through a bullet hole. The ship was sailing straight into a storm. Thunder drowned out my screams. Waves slammed against the hull. The ship almost flipped over. Cold seawater woke me up again. It had already leaked inside. I crawled toward the driest spot, peeking through the hole, and saw the container floating alone on the sea. I tried to use the phone, but the screen was shattered. It wouldn't turn on. I sat there helplessly. Then the baby inside me moved. Tears fell down my face. I knew I had to survive for him. I checked everything again. The first crate was full of plastic lunchboxes. Luckily, the second one had some clothes. I kept searching. They seemed useless. But later, they saved my life. I used tape to seal the leaking holes, then fell asleep from exhaustion. Soon after, water rushed in again. The tape had come loose. I looked at the plastic boxes, and suddenly had an idea. I pulled off the rubber bands, and tied them tightly around the holes. The leak stopped. Inside the television box, I found a soft plastic tube. It fit perfectly through the gap. I used it to drain the water bit by bit. After countless tries, the water level finally dropped. I stacked the crates together and checked what was left. Suddenly, pain tore through my belly. Thunder roared outside. I bit my lip and gave birth inside the shaking box. It was a girl. Her cry gave me strength again. But another problem came. I was too weak and had no milk. I ate the last bits of food, hoping to feed her. Finally, she took her first sip, but soon the food was gone. I looked at the drill, then at the metal wall. I started drilling, trying to open a way out. But on the last line, the drill overheated and broke. I broke down completely. I screamed and threw everything around. Then a small knife fell in front of me. I wiped my tears and picked it up again. I started sawing 5 days and nights. My hands were full of blisters. But I didn't stop. Only one last joint was left. But it was noon, and the container was boiling hot. I felt dizzy, almost passing out. I tried to drink water, but all I had was seawater. I stopped myself and splashed it on my face. I saw drops of water on the ceiling and pressed my lips against them, but it wasn't enough. The rust made me gag. 7 days and nights trapped inside. My body gave up. I fainted. Then a drop of rain hit my face. I woke up. I opened my mouth, drinking every drop I could. That rain kept me alive. I used the containers to collect it. When I tried to open a can, the pull tab broke. That tiny failure sparked an idea, and tied it down. I pulled with everything I had. The steel finally tore apart. Sunlight hit my face. I cried. It was the taste of freedom. I climbed out of the container, but froze at what I saw. Nothing but endless sea. I didn't know where I would drift, or if I'd see tomorrow.